Hey there, it's Chris Pre with another Q&A Thursday. It came to my mind again, especially as I went through year end. I'm transitioning into, hey, what's the spring and summer going to look like? Is our lack of attention on scripts. Now, why do I say that? Out of all the skill sets we can teach, because remember, we teach three different pillars: skill set, mindset, and systems. Out of all the skill sets we can teach, there is nothing more important, in my opinion, than scripts. When you get comfortable, here's what I know. When you get comfortable, because you can, with speaking with sellers, I promise you will get to the point where you can't wait to get on the phone. That's how I feel when an associate hands me a call and says, hey, can you call this person for me? I can't wait to do it. I can't wait to tape it for them so they can learn. And every single associate who has gone through, I won't say the pain, but the work it takes to go ahead and get themselves comfortable with scripts has had huge success. So I want to make sure I plant that seed with you and maybe provoke you to study a little bit more on the scripts. Now, coincidentally, in the Wicked Smart Academy, there are scripts galore. There are live calls, seller and buyer. And so we've equipped that a lot. It's just, do you spend enough time to go through that and go through that and go through that? So I want to talk a little bit today on the Q&A about how to speak to sellers. And we could spend hours, but I want to just address a couple things that we hear coming up in the community, either all the time or lately, that's on my brain. First of all, let me position this for you. And that is, when you call a seller, it is never about, hey, teach me a script so I can convince them what to do. No, never. We get this question on Clubhouse. We get this question in support all the time. But how do you convince them? You don't convince them. You listen carefully for a real estate challenge or problem or a real estate goal they have that you can better guide them on. Let me explain. Everyone thinks of creative real estate, even other niches, wholesaling, other niches, and they say, well, we must be hurt, people must be hurting, and we're helping them out. No, it's not the case at all. On a phone call, I'm listening for, is there a need for immediate debt relief? Is there a divorce and a need for closure? Is there a debt-free property, which is a third of the properties in the United States, in a great area to kind of fish in, a great pond to fish in, a great prospect to speak with? Is there debt-free there so we can go ahead and create a long-term deal where they love it, they get a premium perhaps, and we go ahead and get our 3 paydays set up? Yeah, all these are good. So when you get on the phone, get really good at asking questions. Too many times, even in our community, and they have the scripts in their hand, I'll listen to the calls because we critique calls. If you're not presently in the associate or 90-day community, we listen to calls and we critique them. That's your fastest way to learn. If you're not in that, please understand that all I want you to do when you get on the phone is this. Ask a question, let them answer. While they're answering, think of your next question. Don't ever try to tell them what you do. It's not what you're there for. You're there to ask questions, determine if you have a good result, a good path for them, and if you do, you go ahead and offer it. Let me give you some examples here. Once I get the seller on the phone, my first and foremost question is, given your price of $3.25, I'll make that up. If I could get you there, and I haven't seen your property yet, but if I could get you there, are you open to lease purchase or owner financing? Now, that's before I know anything else whatsoever. Now, if I got that lead from a virtual assistant, which is the only ones we call now, I will know on my property information sheet what their motivation is, because that is critical. All the other things don't matter to me. Why are you selling? Where do you need to be? And what if this doesn't happen? All these other questions that I'm going to share with you and ways to talk to sellers, they're just added ammunition, if you will, added confidence, if you will, okay? So that's the background of how to set this thing up. Now, here are some things we hear a lot. If a seller says to you, hey, I'm just going to rent it if it doesn't sell, because that answers the question, remember, where are you going, buy when, what if it doesn't sell? Well, if it doesn't sell, I'm just going to rent it. Okay, what if, because that's being a landlord, right? So my brain immediately goes to, all right, so what if I could get you the same monthly income, but you could remove off the table, so to speak, or mentally remove any and all landlord responsibilities? Tell me, what landlord, please ask yourself this, what landlord wouldn't say, well, I'm a little curious, what are you talking about? You can get the monthly income, but you can remove all the landlord duties, responsibilities, okay? That's going to keep your door open. And where do you go with that? Any one of our options. AO, which is an assign out, sandwich, or owner financing if it's debt-free. Any one of those are great options, but ask that question. Next thing that comes up a lot, if they're a flipper or a builder, right? They're rehabbing and they're flipping. My brain immediately goes to what? My brain goes to, well, You're buying this property, you rehabbed it, you're looking to flip it, you have short-term capital gains. You're just flipping properties. Now, some rehabbers and builders, flippers, they need to flip it because they went and borrowed hard money. Probably not as established as the person I'd like to deal with. Why? Because the person that's more established, that maybe did that deal cash, or is not obligated to someone from a high interest in points hard money loan, they've kind of grown out of that. They have cash flow. They're going to be interested in this. They're going to be interested in, hey, what if I can get you top dollar, and from a tax standpoint, we have some advantages there too, because you're not going to sell this in under 1 year. Now, I'm not an accountant. I'm talking very general here. But because I did flips and because I did building, I can tell you that most builders and flippers would say, tell me more. How can we do that? And an AO is great for a builder if they don't mind dealing with that person in the house. And if not, you can switch to a sandwich. Or, again, debt-free owner financing. Okay? So, again, welcome these things. Like, I'm going to rent. Great. I can't wait to answer that. I know how to do that. I'm a builder or a flipper. This is what I do. Okay, great. I can't wait to answer that. Be ready to answer these. There's only like, say, 15 answers, objections, or commonly asked questions they can ask you. You learn those, and you'll absolutely annihilate every single call you're on confidently and get the deal more times than not. Next thing I hear a lot. There's so many investors calling as a wholesaler or a flipper, and they're trying to get like 60 to 70% on the dollar. So the sellers are so used to that. A lot of the calls we do throughout the community and me to this day will be, I'm not in a hurry. You probably don't want my house, because they think you're trying to steal it. We're not trying to steal it. Actually, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, we actually pay fair market value. Can I ask you some questions? You will literally hear the guard come down on the phone. You can hear and feel the energy, because they're used to getting hammered by wholesalers and rehabbers wanting 60, 70 cents on the dollar. They have to make money. So the sellers will say things like that. Like, I know you got to get this at 60 or 70 cents on the dollar. I know you got to steal. Nope, not at all. So you can go ahead and dive into your conversation after that and just very politely start asking questions. So again, welcome these things. I will tell you, I alluded to, before I wrap this up, I alluded to our community, and we get to hear their calls. We critique them. We do calls for them. We send them so they can learn. Just yesterday, as of this filming, one of our associates in the high six community had a call with a gentleman, and this is what we teach them to do. We say, if you get to the point where you can't answer the questions, or you just don't know where to go next, especially when you're new, just say to them, hey, is it okay if I have my senior associate give you a call? That's where our family team and our coaches, our amazing coaches, come into the play. They pick up the phone for you, and they call. So just yesterday, I heard the call that they did with the seller. So now I totally understand what the gentleman was saying to them. I know his attitude. He was a little egotistical. And they said, could you do the follow-up? Yeah, perfect. I heard the whole conversation. It's almost like a continuation. I'm not going to tell that gentleman that we recorded it, because there are rules and regulations around that. We do for training purposes only. And so when I called him, he started off the same way, a little egotistical, a little cocky, and the conversation turned around by asking about 10 questions. Now, point of that is not just that we'll do that for you. The point is, I took that call and I put it in our Slack community, where all 100 plus associates are communicating every single day, all the time. And I put it in this channel specifically for scripts. You can go to that channel. Like, if you did nothing else and you were in our Wicked Smart community and you hung out on the script channel, there are a ton of current live calls. And any call I do, I stick up on that channel. So important for you to know that if you're even remotely considering looking into our community. Now, on this whole subject of scripts, we have an event coming up, the Wicked Smart Summit, March 31st and April 1st. In past years, for those of you who've been in the community or just following us, it has been biz scaling. It is the Wicked Smart Summit. We have an amazing lineup already, but the whole theme is back to basics. And this whole thought of scripts, if I taught you nothing else in the next 90 days, this is where you should be living, skill set wise. And so I encourage you to go over to wickedsmartsummit.com, wickedsmartsummit.com, grab your ticket. I promise you, as I say about all our events, you will consider it time very well spent. It's 2 days. It's 100% virtually. So fortunate or not, we're still dealing with COVID, right? All of us. So you get the fortunate part is you get to stay at home or at your office or you're on vacation, and you get to hang out with us for 2 days. wickedsmartsummit.com. We'll see you there.